party leader was mentioned by Ascot.
Of course, defending criminals.
And oh, man. But
Oliver.
This issue has been framed even by Sakaja himself as a political issue, and Sakaja in his response named President Uhuru Kenyatta, saying the state machinery has been deployed to intimidate the officials of said institution, Team University, as well as the Commission for University Education in Uganda. What's the basis of that?
I think there's nothing far from the truth in what Sakaja said. I think one thing what Ascon is trying to say here is that one thing we should get clear is that Sakaja was cleared by ABC. Sakaja was also cleared by the Commission for University Education. What we are dealing with is somebody who is hell-bent to ensure that NMS still stands post-2022. What we are seeing here is somebody who is hell-bent to continue installing leaders in Nairobi and across the country. And I think the system and the deep state, I want to refer them as that. They have realized that the race at presidential level is done. So they are now looking at Nairobi as a soft landing so that they can continue holding power by installing their own person. But as I said, that the Commission on University of Education and also IBC had cleared Sakaja. But later on somebody thought that, oh, Sakaja has not graduated, so let's look at his academic credentials. And that's what we're dealing with. I think IBC and and the Commission of University Education were not wrong when they were clearing this man to vie for governor seat. So I think President Kenyatta should be candid enough. He should remember that this is the same guy who installed him in 2013, when everybody was turning against him as an ICC suspect. Sakaja and his battalion of young people stood by him. They saw a gap. They saw leadership and visionary, the vision that President Uhuru had. He should not turn his back on Sakaja.
But are you saying he should be cleared purely on the basis of his student?
Not on that basis.
No, that is
that is not the basis. The basis is this guy has been cleared. Sakaja has been cleared by Commission of Education.
The clearance has been revoked.
No, listen, Ascon. Sakaja has been cleared by the relevant institutions that he holds a credible degree. Why should Uhuru turn against the same man who has already been cleared by the university? This is the same man who has been on his political formation all along since 2013. I think we have more political machinization against Sakaja than the reality of academic question that is on his document. The other thing, what is at stake here, Olive, is we might be threatening our diplomatic relations with Uganda. Because the next question Museveni will ask Uhuru, are you questioning the credibility or the quality of education my country offers? That is what is at stake here. And I think Uhuru, as we go forward, when we are having an election 50 days to come, he should be very careful. Because if we develop diplomatic struggles with a neighbor, then it means we are having so much at stake on things of national interest.
So before I come back to you for your...
Just a minute. I think the precedence that UDA is setting is very dangerous. That whatever happens in this country must be guided by politics. And that if somebody has been fingered for doing something wrong, it is on the basis of politics. When we talk about corruption, they'll be fast jumping on top of their sunroofs and talking about how politics is, I mean, this whole thing is riddled with politics. When we're talking about degrees, it is not only Sakaja who is under the lenses. We are talking about Nyambane, Walter Mongare. He was cleared by the IBC, but when the IBC established that his papers were not correct, he was called back, and his clearance was revoked. We are talking about Wavinya Ndeti, who is being looked at right now. She is a Wiper candidate in Machakos. We are talking about Samboja, who is in Taita Taveta. He's a candidate within Azimio. So it behooves our leadership that when a position is taken by an authority, we need to support that authority to entrench institutionalism in all that we do, to ensure that we get credible leaders. Not that when we talk about Sakaja, then we look at Uhuru Kenyatta as though he's trying to finish Sakaja. Of what interest would Uhuru Kenyatta want to finish Sakaja? Right. Sakaja was, if you ask me today, during the period within which I was at the University of Nairobi. I'll mention, and the circumstances under which probably I have not graduated or I may graduate, or I have graduated. If you ask me the period within which I was at the Catholic University, I would mention clearly, I mean, I was here within this time, I was with this kind of people. Today we are asking Sakaja, who are your classmates at the team university? Which is this team university? You've clearly stated on live discussion that you have never stepped out of Kenya for education. Then how did it happen that you spent almost 3 years in Uganda?
I think it was correspondence. I think that's the case that has been made, that he was was a correspondence.
So those are some of what the Commission for University Education is investigating. No wonder they said they have revoked that clearance pending investigation. So we should allow them to investigate and give us a response.
Sylvia, both these gentlemen have interests. I think it's a good thing you're sitting between them. What are your thoughts on this issue?
I would say that I think the most important thing out of all this entire issue is integrity. It speaks to the integrity, not only of public and state officers, but even for persons who are offering themselves for public or state office. There needs to be integrity. If a qualification has been set, a requirement has been put that you should have ABC, that you should have a university degree, how then can you offer yourself for a public office, for a state office, without having met these requirements? Yeah. And on this basis, not that I am not aligning myself to any particular side.
No, don't
don't have
the moral and ethical requirements set out in Chapter 6 are very clear. And before you sit down and decide, okay, I want to vie as a governor, I want to vie as a president, I should have met those qualifications that have been set out constitutionally, and not even given by the statute. The Constitution provides for these qualifications. While yes, a university degree is not specifically listed in the Constitution, the resultant statutory regulations, I mean the acts that have been given, the Elections Act provide for this. And you'll notice actually, maybe when we speak about why, if this is necessary, why we need this requirement, yes. The only amendment that, there have been several amendments to the Elections Act, but these amendments have not affected 4 positions: president, deputy president, governor, and county governor. The others have been affected. They may have a degree, they may not have a degree, and the application of these amendments have varied over the years, especially in 2013 and 2017. But for these 4 key positions, there has to be that degree requirement has been consistent all through. Okay. And so it's necessary for all persons, offering themselves up for state office, for public office, to sit down, reflect, and see if they actually meet these requirements. I mean, another question is, what else, what kind of example are you setting for the youth in this country, and for others who want to offer themselves up for public and state offices? They have to meet these requirements that have been set out. They have to be of moral and ethical integrity as set out in the Constitution, so that we can have the kind of leaders that the Constitution aspires for us to have as the people of Kenya.
All right.